Honestly, we're talking about hazing today, and let me just be completely honest. A year ago, I was totally against fraternities. I was like, you know what, I don't need to be told by a bunch of hooligans how to be a man. I was raised in a small town in Ireland where, you were your own person. Your father taught you how to play rugby. Your family showed you how to be that man, how to be that person who treated women with respect, how to be that individual who could pull himself up by his own bootstraps. And, I looked at these frats and I just said, I have no interest. I don't need to be, I don't need to be told something I already know. And unfortunately today, in a lot of fraternities, you do have this hazing aspect of things, and people seem to think that the only way to find true brotherhood is by being punished and humiliated, and your manhood almost taken away from you in order to be accepted. And it makes me angry. It's hard for me to believe that guys would stoop to such a low to where they would do these kinds of things, to be able to be accepted. And what I love about Beta, and what I pumped about Beta, is that Beta, Theta Pi, and our fraternity, and every chapter that I've heard of in Beta, that we fight to change that. We fight to be able to give people the opportunity to love going through the pledgeship process, to love every aspect of Beta. They don't have to be humiliated. They don't have to be put in a place to where, they lose all sense of respect for themselves and dignity. They get to keep their dignity. In fact, they get to improve upon it. And they get to enjoy, going to the mixers, going to the community service events. And, as a recruitment chair for my chapter, I'm proud to say that our chapter, from the president to the very youngest pledge, we do everything together. That we make sure that we move as a unit. That we absolutely move, together in the sense that there isn't some job done for the lowly pledge and one for the high president. That we're all revered in this fraternity. And, I look at these other fraternities, these other frats, and these guys talking about the only way for brotherhood is to go through hazing. That supposedly creates brotherhood. That creates hatred. That creates a horrible, vicious cycle where, you've got a group of guys who join a fraternity, they get hazed like crazy, and then they say, okay, well, I'm going to haze the next group of pledges that I get to have and make it even worse. And you've got this, like I said, this vicious cycle going on. And instead of fostering the kind of brotherhood that a fraternity should be going for, it fosters division. And it fosters, in my opinion, a sense of degradation towards society as a whole. A big reason I'm in Beta, I'll be honest, is the way that we treat women. There's nothing that makes me more angry and irate than watching some of these frats and how they treat these women. If you go to the mixers, if you go to the events, and I really believe a big part of it is that when these guys were hazed, when these guys went through this humiliation, they began to see themselves as, well, I went through this. I earned the right to treat women with disrespect. I earned the right to do things as I want to do them because I went through hell. And, when I was talking about this vicious cycle, this is part of that cycle. We're creating the stigma that if you go through this kind of purgatory time through one of these frats, that basically you can do whatever you want on campus. You earn the right to be able to act as you please. And that's not how I was raised. And that's not how Beta Theta Pi is at all. And that's the reason I'm in Beta, is because we're setting a whole new precedent. We're fighting to change the viewpoints. We're fighting to create, not to create, to foster those men of character, men of principle in every regard. And honestly, I admire and I'm proud of the fact that we have this campaign against hazing because I believe it's revolutionary. I believe it's an opportunity to set a whole new precedent for campus life, for college life. if we're going to prepare the leaders of this next generation, we've got to make sure it starts in college. I mean, what kind of world are we looking to create? Are we looking to further if we're setting horrible precedents in university? What kind of world are we going to live in 10 years or 20 years if all our future leaders went through this kind of hazing and believed that that's the way to inspire leadership, or that's the way to inspire brotherhood? I'll tell you one thing, what it will do, and mark my words, what it will do is it will lead to the continuing degradation of everything that we know. It will lead to the breakdown of society, the breakdown of what we understand to be men of honor and attributes and values like chivalry and men of integrity and all these notions that we grew up with will almost become extinct if we don't fight back. And I can tell you that this Irishman sitting in here talking to you today is committed to that cause. I'll never let up. And we should never let up on this. We have the opportunity to set our future. And my question to you today, will you join in this effort? Will you fight? Or will you stand idly by and watch our society collapse? So with that being said, it's an honor for me to talk about this, and pumped to be here and honored to speak with you.